And we are back with a new episode of Learning Photography on YouTube. Today we are going to talk about the histogram, and we will see how this tool can help us to improve our photography. Welcome to my channel and welcome to episode 6 of Learning Photography on YouTube. If you're here for the first time and you don't want to miss the next episodes of this photography course, it might be a good idea to subscribe. I just came back from Lake Tahoe. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen my stories over the weekend. Nevertheless, I shot a couple of videos there dedicated about where to focus and how to take sharper photos. Coming soon. Understanding the histogram. So what is the histogram? We see an histogram on our camera's display. We see it on Lightroom. What is it? What does it do? Let's start saying that the histogram is a graphic representation of any digital photo, where every single pixel will be positioned on this graphic according to its tonal values and its brightness. As a matter of fact, the horizontal axis represents the brightness that ranges from black all the way to the left, which is 0% brightness, to white all the way to the right, with 100% brightness. The vertical axis instead shows how many pixels are located in a specific tonal value area. So the darker areas of any given images, the shadows, are shown on the left side of the histogram. The brighter areas, the highlights, are shown in the right side instead. And in the middle of our histogram, we will see the midtones of our photos. And something super important that I want to mention right away is that anytime the histogram is touching, and the proper term to use in this situation is actually clipping. So if the histogram is clipping either on the left or the right side, it will indicate a loss of information. The camera was not able to capture data in that specific tonal value area. For instance, if we take a photo pointing the camera at the sun, most likely the histogram will clip on the right, and there will be a loss of details in the highlights. While if we take a photo of the Milky Way in the middle of the night, chances are that the histogram will clip to the left, and there will be a loss of details in the shadows. And I made these two examples to tell you that not necessarily if some clipping occurs, we will have a bad image that cannot be used or printed. The important thing is to make a deliberate decision when we choose not to have details in a specific area of our photo. Do you follow me? When I started with digital photography, I was told that a good histogram will show most of the information in the middle. And I can agree with the fact that most of the times a well-exposed image will have an histogram with a lot of data in the middle of the graphic. But at the same time, in my experience, I took photos with a bad histogram that I really love. So I don't really think that there is a good or a bad histogram. But the truth, in my opinion, is that if we shoot raw, and we have to shoot raw, when we have a lot of information in the middle section of our histogram, we will be able to move this data maybe to the left if we want to create a specific mood with an underexposed image, or to the right if we want to create a different mood with an overexposed one. So being aware of the graphic representation of the exposure of our photo is very useful, and it will be even more useful when in the future we will talk about long exposure. But the main reason why I checked my histogram while shooting is that I am a fan of a technique that is called ETTR, exposed to the right. When using this technique, the goal is to create an image where most of the histogram information are positioned to the right. Of course, without clipping. The reason why I like and use this technique is that when I adjust the exposure in Lightroom, especially if I'm trying to retrieve details from the shadows, I don't add too much noise. While in my experience, when I'm working with an image where most of the histogram information are positioned in the left side, it's really hard to retrieve shadow details without adding any noise. So in the end, the histogram is a great tool to evaluate and understand the exposure of our photos. I believe that since we had a week off, it is time for an assignment. And this may be a slightly more challenging assignment. I would like you to try experimenting with the exposed to the right technique. So take a shot of whatever you like, but play with your exposure, trying to create an histogram that, as we said before, will be shifted to the right without clipping. If you know how to use Lightroom or any other photo editing software, I would like to see your before and after photo, so post them both on Instagram. Use the hashtag LPOY_ETTR, tag me, Attilio Ruffo Photography, and if you're not into photo editing yet, don't worry, just post the one photo. And we are done for today. The 6th episode of Learning Photography on YouTube is over. Next week I will show you what I did in Lake Tahoe. Basically is my where to focus in landscape photography video. I hope you will be there. While tomorrow instead I will post a poll on Instagram. I will create an Instagram story for the channel community hashtag. So let me know your opinion. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope that you learned something new today. If you want to help me to let YouTube know that this is a good content, hit the like button now. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.